Welcome everybody to Women in Backgammon's monthly expertise learning series. It's actually our first with our founder, Karen Davis, one of the foremost players in the country, and Art Benjamin, her friend and competitor tonight. They will play a 5-point match and then review it afterward. This is going to be a monthly series where we bring in expert, interesting players to play a 5-point match where they will all comment on each other's play. And you can then ask your questions. But we have an exciting announcement to make. Karen, do you want to step in here and tell everybody about next month?
Yes, we are very excited to announce that the December learning session will feature David Presser and Eva Ziskova. So some of you may know that just today, David won one of the most prestigious events in backgammon, the Merit Open, where he won the Masters division. So we're very excited that he agreed back in October to head up that session. And I think that will be a very interesting one. People may not know Eva Ziskova as well, but she started playing backgammon back in 2003 to play it as a game with her son, Zdeněk Siska, when he was 5 years old. And today, of course, he's a world famous grandmaster, as is David. But Eva is a star player in her own right. She has the best performance rating of any woman player in Europe. So we're really thrilled that she'll be joining us. She and Zdeněk will also be attending the California State Championship in early December. So you'll have a chance to meet her there.
Very exciting news, thanks. And just a little bit about Karen and Art before we get started. Karen Davis was inducted into the American Backgammon Hall of Fame just a month or so ago, not even that long. She is president of the U.S. Backgammon Foundation and chairperson 2010 to 2017, executive director 2017 to 2020 of the U.S. Backgammon Federation. Among her many achievements include the 2021 American Backgammon Hall of Fame induction and her 2021 Ultimate Backgammon Contender, one of the 13 qualifying participants in Marbella, Spain. And Art, a special welcome to Art, who was so stood forward as we just started this organization, said he would do this. And he's a mathematician and Harvey Mudd College mathematics professor who's well known in the backgammon community with honors too numerous to mention. Art was the inaugural 2020 American Backgammon Tour Online champion with the best overall performance in a series of 17 national tournaments. Art also writes a regular column for Primetime Backgammon Magazine, and don't miss his TED Talk, it's fabulous. And we will add that link to the information we load into this evening's event on our new YouTube channel. So one more thing, couple people, we can hear you. So any back noise, we really appreciate you going on mute. And go ahead and get started, and good luck to everybody. So, right. Yeah, you want to share your screen, and we're
should ready? Who should be sharing the screen, Karen?
You are going to. Art.
Me, okay.
Yeah, just like we did last
week. You should be good to go.
All right, let me share. There we go. And can you all see my galaxy? Yep, okay. I'm going to create the game. We're going to do 5 and casual. And if you have questions, think about them, write them down as we play. Karen and I will talk, and we are on a clock, so we can only talk so much per move. But here we go. I've created the game, and Karen, here you are. I will accept. And here we go. All right. So,
good match.
Yeah, we'll have a great match, Karen. I know it will be. The pressure's on. We have other grandmasters watching us, so I am sure I'll be making mistakes starting with this double 3. so many ways to play it. I can hit, but is that the best use of 3 threes, or do I make my 5-point and my 3-point? I like to do 2 good things. Early in the game, it's often good to hit. So here you can watch me be confused. You know, those builders are just so strong. I'm going to hit and come down 13-10. But I might have made a mistake right away. All right, 4-1. Okay, well, I can escape my last checker safely, so let's do that. Karen buttons up already. I'm looking at the race. It's not a double. She has a stronger board, 6-5. In Michi's latest book, he says, once you've escaped all your checkers, you sort of play like a beginner, play really safe. All right. And double 5, a great roll for me. But will I play it great? I don't know. Again, Karen has the stronger board, so I don't think I'm going to hit loose. I'm going to make the 5-point, and I'm going to bring 2 checkers down. I can comfortably play my 6s and 5s, 4s. All my numbers are pretty safe, so I'm going to do that. Also, I'm about ready to double, and when you're about ready to take the double, you don't make risky plays. You just say, okay. So I'm up here 31 pips in this race. As I run through the numbers, I have some market losers, right? I can roll my double 2, 3, 4, 5. I have nothing that leaves a shot that I can see. Maybe I'm missing something, but it feels like I have plenty of upside. I've got a good racing lead. I'm going to double. I definitely agree with the take. All right, it's a holding game. You can take holding games even with 30 pip deficits. All right, I'm going to stay and play cautiously.
Karen, somebody's asking whether you debated that double or if you took it automatically.
I found it a hard decision.
4-2 is a great roll for me. I make a point. I think it was more a question of the double than the take. That's my prediction. I think it's a take even if you have the checker on the 18-point. All right, so the question was, is that checker on the 3-point an asset or a liability, right? I gotta ask the same question, right? Do I leave a shot with her strong board like that? I don't think so. I mean, I can, well, if I hit 8-3, 8-4, now I'm kind of putting it all on the line, but she's got 13 numbers that hit. And I'm not guaranteed to cover that. So she may get a few more shots after me after that. So I think if my checkers were better distributed, maybe I would hit, but I'm gonna wimp out and play like a beginner here and not leave any shots. Or 2. Okay, well, it's getting a little crunchier, but got to do this. Don't see any alternatives. All right, I've left a shot. She has how many numbers that hit? From 6.
18, the double fives as well as the sixes.
Yeah, so there's 17 direct sixes. Add to that the double fives, so that would be 18 numbers. 50% to hit me. Ooh, okay. By the way, at 50% to hit me, I may have doubled because you might even win if missed. But let's see. The 3-1. I think the fewest shots and the best, the strongest number here is to make the 3-point. All right. Keeps it exciting. Keeps it very exciting. Oh boy. Well, now with a double shot, there are 20 numbers that hit. No additional combinations. She's a favorite to hit, but hitting is not everything. You have to win after that. In fact, even if she closes me out, as long as it only hits one checker, I still have some very real winning chances.
Karen, are you frozen?
She's thinking.
Yes.
So 3-1, I got lucky. You know, if the score had been different, if she had been, even if I was ahead 1-0, the cube would have been probably more automatic because she might say, hey, if I miss, I'm going to get gammoned anyway. Lose 4 points. All right. Here, there are a lot of gammons. I'm off in 5 normal rolls. Gammon's going to be close. And that should save it. Should. Unless I roll double 2s or better. Not today. All right. There we go. All right. And the score is 2-0. And at this score, Karen is supposed to be a bit more aggressive with the cube if the position becomes gammonish. If it doesn't become gammonish, you could sort of double at your normal time. But if it's if it becomes gammonish, we can expect to see.
Art, they're asking if you wouldn't mind enlarging your board screen, please.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Is that better?
I believe it is.
All right. And look at that. It even enabled me to roll better. I like that suggestion. All right. All right, 4-2. Well, I think the best play overall, I mean, there are 3 good candidates, right? You can hit, that's good. I can make the 4-point, that's maybe better, but I think I'm gonna make the 11 point inferior to the 4 point, but it has no risk. There are no blots, loose blots out there. So I'm gonna make the 11 point. I could be wrong. I've seen the computer say, no, you should have made the 4 point. But all right, hits, and I hit back. Which one to hit back? I think the one that goes farther back. Okay. Now, in the same way that Karen is more aggressive with the cube when it gets gammonish, I become a little more conservative with the cube at this score. If it gets gammonish, I'm probably not double. Double 4. Oh boy. All right. Now, by the way, rule number 1, when you roll doubles, think. I mean, the doubles are, because there's so many different ways to play doubles. They are the easiest plays to blunder. They're great to get, but you want to play them best. So I got it. I'm going to hit the second checker. All right. And now let's think about the last 4. 2 on the bar. She owns the ace point. I'm going to play, yeah, sometimes they say, oh, bring more ammunition, 13 to 9. That, but then I have 4 blots out there and things can get ugly quickly. I'm going to take my 7 point because that's a good point to own. And yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Art, we have a question. Doesn't your take 5 rule apply at this score?
So I have a rule called take 5, which means if we're in a not so gammonish position, like a race or a holding game, then the taker, if Karen is 5 away, if she doubles me in a race or an ungammonish holding game, then I should be a little more liberal in taking. But if it's a gammonish position, all that goes away. That supersedes. If it's a gammonish position, I am not doubling. Okay, 6-1. I can hit the 3rd checker or I can hit on the 5 point. And I am not going to let Karen anchor on that valuable point. So I look at it this way. I sometimes call this the crystal ball. If I know that she's rolling, if she's not rolling a 5, then of course I want to hit. If she is rolling a 5, well, at least I've stopped her from anchoring. So maybe hitting isn't so bad there either. So either way, I am hitting with that ace. I'll play 6 here just to bring more wood into, more ammunition into the zone like that. All right, 4-1. And again, this is a gammonish position. I'm not going to double at this score. If I were trailer, I probably would be. All right, 5-2. I don't want her to anchor, but I also really want my 5 point. So I can't make the 4 point. So I am going to cover the 5. And what's my best 5? G. I can play 13-8, but she's got a decent board. I'd hate for her to come in and hit me here. On the other hand, I also hate playing 8-3. So I have to choose the least of 2 evils. Let's take a look again. Yeah, I really do. I guess there is an alternative. I could hit with the ace and then continue with the 5, and then I'm not making the 5 point, and I'll have 2 on the bar. But the 5 point is the 5 point. Oh no, I can't hit with you. It's a 5-2. I can't hit with an ace. All right, the 2 is kind of forced in my book. And which 5? If I play down here, she can hit me back with, she's got 3 numbers coming in, 1s, 2s, and 4s. She'd be hitting me with 1s and 5s. That's roughly 12 numbers that that hit back roughly. That's a lot of return shots. If I play it less pure, if I play the 5 here, now she's got 3 numbers that come in. She still hits me with 1s and 5, with 1s and 5s. You know what? They're just as many shots. Even though it leaves a second blot, I'm going to keep all my checkers where they belong. I'm going to play here. It's roughly the same number of shots. Anyway, the 1s are sort of duplicated. So I'm going to do this. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm doing. 4-6. All right. Again, general rule of thumb, when you're winning the match, don't double a back game. Okay, that's something that David Presser taught me, and you'll be hearing from him next month. 6-4. Well, let's
All right, you've got another question. Did you consider 17-11, 6-5 instead of 13-7, 6-5?
was my last roll. I don't know. I'd have to look at what the last position looked like, and my memory is actually pretty bad, so
Okay,
I don't know.
we'll move on. We'll move on.
Okay, 6-4. Gee, I think I have to leave a shot somewhere, right? I don't see a completely safe way to play this. Not that getting hit is all that bad when they have a back game. I also like putting checkers kind of where they belong. I'm going to try this. I'm going to play 4 here. I'm going to play the 6 down to there, right? Maintain that midpoint, just keeps things from getting too bad. I'm going to play it that way. And it's only 11 shots.
They want to know if making the deuce is an option here.
It's always an option. And believe me, I will have blunders this match. That was more done based on instinct here. All right, a lot of good ways to play here. Double 3. I will cover the deuce point and block the 4 point. Even though who's holding whom, I'm not sure I like being 6 away here, but a braver player might play like this and just say, hey, leave the shot now while their board is kind of yucky. Maybe I'll talk myself into leaving the shot. And then I have a relatively, if I missed, I have a smooth chance of getting in, of coming in. If I'm hit, I don't have too much trouble, but is it worth leaving the shot? Is it worth volunteering the shot? I don't know. I think I like this play. I have like 17 numbers that clear that point safely next turn. If I roll a 1 or a 6, I can still play it pretty safely. I'm going to go this way. I'll leave the risky play for the grandmasters. Again, I don't see any, I'm not doubling a back game. 2-4. Play like this. If I'm lucky, she'll start to crunch. Yep, the 3 is essential. I might have used the dilly builder to go 3-2 there, but don't know. All right, 2-1. I'm going to keep the 4 prime because maybe she'll roll double 4s or something and have to crunch her board. Let's keep that prime. 3-2. Okay. 5-4. All right. Well, no shots left. Yeah. Now, by the way, if this were a money game or if the score were even, I would probably be doubling here. Rule of thumb is you double when you're about to clear the point that's 3 in front of the farthest anchor. So here she has her 4 point, and I have checkers on my 5, 6, and 8 point. So this is normally the time to double a well-timed back game, and she has a well-timed back game here. Because of the score, I'm not going to double. And if I clear that point, that would be a pass at a money score. But I'm going to roll. 4, 3, 4, and 3. Okay. Yep, my position's gotten worse. I'm still not doubling. 4, 3. All right. I'm gonna play it chicken and not leave any shots. I still have about 11 numbers. Any combination of 3, 5, and 6, as well as double 1 and double 2 that play safely next turn. So I'll wait. Maybe her board will get worse. By the way, this is one of those games where it's possible I should have been doubling every turn for the last 3 turns, and then I get, dinged with an error or a blunder several times in a row. You never know. All right, 6-1. Here's my 6, and I'm only going to leave a single direct shot instead of a double direct shot. I'm going to give her 4s and 7s, which is about, I don't know, maybe 18 shots instead of 6s and 3s, which is a lot more. So, all right.
Karen, a number of people have asked if you're willing to share a few thoughts too.
Yes, I wanted to want a 4 there. No, but it may be my own mistake. I really debated with a 6-2, splitting from the 21 point up to the 9 point, which would have given me, with this, maybe, he might have hit me. But it would have given me 2 shots at him.
All right. Okay. I might have made the 2 point on that play, just keeping the 5 prime that way, but we'll see. And I might be too good to double, even if it was an option. All right, 1, 2, and we'll hit with the 1 and move on with the 2. Double 4. Okay. I'm off the gamut. Oh boy. And my thinking is if you weren't going to be wasting pips, it would be worth staying back. I mean, this makes the backgammon unlikely, but I might have stuck around for one shot. But I'd probably be leaving this turn if I could. All right, I've got 26 numbers. Do I get one? I do. All right, we're Crawford. Now at this score, at the Crawford score 4-0, here's my little tip. I think of it as if she's got an even numbers, 0. I'm gonna mentally put her at the highest even number she can have, which is 4. So I think of this score as if she had 4-4. Now, if it's 4-4, do her gammons matter? No. So I take the same approach here, that I'm playing this game as if gammons don't matter. Now she has split her back checkers and has 9 in her home board area, 9 in the attack zone. So I will split my back checker as well. And in my mind, I'm thinking gammons don't matter.
They want to know, Karen, if you agree.
Right, that's a good thing to always remind yourself at the start of at the Crawford game. Do gammons matter? So if I've got an even number 0, then gammons don't matter. So I just need to win this.
And of course, my gammons don't matter either, because I'm just 1 away. So, you know, what might be an obvious play to hit and keep on attacking, I'm still going to do that, but I'm not doing it for the gammon. I'm kind of doing it for the win. So, but it's a less powerful play because I don't care about gammons. So I'm making the 4 point. How about the next one? I'll go up and down, even though I'm going to get off that 4 point pretty soon. In fact, so soon, I think I'm just going to try and turn this into a ace point game, 3-2. I'm assuring that. Double 4, okay. I can survive that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 6 and same number of shots either way. Double 3s is less painful, more painful than double 2s. I'll play it that way. 2, 1, just bring it around. I'll play 6 and 2. Just, no, I don't know that I can avoid the double 6 problem. So how about 6 and 2? See how that flies. 5 and 1. I'll allow myself the possibility of rolling double 5s here. Okay. Trying to bring my checkers to the 6, 5, and 4 point if I can. All right. So there's a 6, there's a 5. This is kind of like the Michi bear off, almost the ideal bear off against the ace point. And you clear from the rear, as they say, against an ace point game, clear from the rear, especially when you don't care about gammons. You just want safety. So I'm doing that. 3-2. There's my 3. Do I take off the 2 or do I clear from the rear? Let's go back. Maybe I should clear from the rear anyway. 3-2. Boy, if I don't roll a 6-4 or a 5-4 next turn, I'm in really good shape. All right, I'm gonna clear from the rear again. There's the 6-4. Come on, Karen. You haven't hit a crucial shot all match. Well, forced 2 and 4. Three and 1. Oh boy. All right, here it is, Karen. Ah, it's just one of those matches where what do they say? It's smarter to be lucky than it's lucky to be smart.
Well done. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. All right, I will see what the gods, PR gods say. Okay, maybe I should talk more. I don't usually play at this level, so all right.
Well done.
Thank you. So
All right,
shall
we
we?
have a couple of questions from the field, and for both Karen and Art, best BG book you ever read and why?
You know, I'll start with the first book I ever read. They gives good overall advice. You know, this is old advice. Was McGrill's book on backgammon. I think it still lays out the concepts really well. Though I think there are other books now that do as well. I think Bill Roberti's books, Backgammon for Winners, Backgammon for Serious Players, 501 Backgammon Problems are the books that get you started.
Kit Wolseley's.
Yes, and Kit's book with Tammy Jones, Understanding Backgammon, is also really great because it helps connect the problems that intermediate players and even advanced players still make. And Kit is just a wonderful expositor. And the next book that did it for me was Bill Roberti's book on advanced backgammon. Now it's been reprinted and has a different name now. If someone wants to say it, it's.
And Karen, do you have a book?
Modern Backgammon.
Well, when I started out, of course, it was Paul McGrill's Backgammon, but I read everything. I see Kit is on. I don't think Art knew that he was
Yeah.
on the call, so certainly read Kit's books. But I like a lot of the newer books, certainly Walter Clyde's Mary Hickey and Marty Storr's game plan book. And lately I've been reading Bill Roberti's newest books, certainly read all his books. And I like Nietzsche's books, all 3 that he's got out. So lots of good material, but I'm a reader by nature, so I like learning by reading. Some people learn by watching. So.
I'm
And
reading
Karen, they also want to know, is there anything you would have done different in this match? Or Art, is there something you think she could have done different for a different outcome?
Well, all the doubles, I took the being way behind in the race in a holding game. I don't know, I'll be curious whether that was right or not. And then when I had the double shot on the 24 and the 20, I'm also curious about a 6-2 I had in that last game where I could have split with a 2 and then had double shots, as it turned out, if he had to leave a block. anyway, I'm eager for Art to go through.
Okay, yeah. My favorite book, by the way, I think is Walter Trice's Backgammon Boot Camp. I highly recommend that one. And for tournament play, for just how to play at various match scores, Kit Woolsey's book, and I say that not just because he's here, How to Play Tournament Backgammon is excellent. All right, so let's analyze. Where did my blunders, chances are my biggest blunders happened when I rolled doubles and I probably didn't play them the way I'm supposed to. That's my prediction. All right. I can see already what my first blunder involved a double 5. So there it is. Okay. So I'll step through the match here. And now's the time to speak up when you have questions. We can take our time.
Art, since we're already used almost an hour, we probably ought to focus on the errors.
On the errors. Okay, well, let's at least go through the games and stop me when you see a position that you're not sure of. I wasn't sure of the hitting play here on the double 3. I'm happy to see that was right. 4-1. So, all right. As Michi says, once you've made it, escaped your checkers, you play like a beginner, play very cautiously. All right, and here's my double 5s. And it said I should play, I played 13-8, 10-5. That still looks reasonable to me. And it says actually play all 4 checkers down. 13-8, 13-8, 13-8, 13-8. That's what it says here, where that green light is. That's the right play. And here's the play I made with a red light, which meant it was a blunder. It was more than 0.08 error. And it says, hey, make it play really simple and just bring those checkers down. I did not even look at that play. All right.
They also want to know, is there a rule of thumb how many checkers your opponent has left to take off before you run to avoid a gammon, i.e. run when they have 6 or more, left less, unless you have a great chance to hit them and you have a full home board.
I have a very simple rule for that, and it rhymes. It says, wait until 8. All right. So if it's a choice between wasting checkers coming into your home board, or do you run off the gammon? If your opponent has 8 checkers or less, run. 9 is fine, stay back, but wait until 8. And that rule serves me pretty well. All right. Again, as long as, I mean, if you still can move your checkers into your board without wasting much, stay back. Right. But yeah. Okay. So there we are. My double 5s, I should have played down. All right. 5-2. Karen stays back. And I say double. And let's look at the details, how good close the double and take it was. It says it was a small double. You know, it would have been only a 0.02 error to not double. As I thought the doubling decision was close, and it was an enormous take. That is, it would have been a 0.3 blunder to drop. So it's a holding game, and she has a stronger board. I think that checker on the 3-point is more of an asset than a liability, especially with my awkward distribution. So good take by Karen. 6-2, 3-1, 4-2, 4-3. So Karen, it's saying that at this point, the checker on the 22-point is more of a liability than an asset. It says you want to invest in playing the 7-point holding game. If you go 22-18, you've got a solid bar point holding game. By staying back, though it might increase your chances of hitting a shot, it also increases the chance of getting gammon. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. So, Okay. I would not have expected it to be that big a blunder, but there it is. All right,
It wouldn't
five-
have worked either. I don't know if you immediately rolled a 5-4. I'm wondering whether you would have paid me now and or whether you would have played safe if I'd come out.
Right. Well, I did roll a 5-4 and I chose to play safe. And what's the, what does it say about that? It says my hitting with 8-4, 8-3 would have been a pretty big blunder. I just figured I have such a big race lead. I'm up, what, 34 pips after the roll. I'm just going to try and win. And even if I hit you, if I miss you, I'm not guaranteed to be able to cover. So I think I was giving you too many shots if I hit. 5-1, 4-2, 6-3, 6-5, forced to leave a shot. It says it is not a double here. You have, what did we say? 17 plus 18 shots. How close is that to a double? It says not. Don't double. Even though you're a favorite, 54% of the time you win. It's just a little too volatile. If you miss, I send it right back. If you hit, you still have work to do. Okay. 3-1, great shot by me. Dance, and just one miss after another.
There was that 4-1 double shot.
Yeah, the problem here is that even after you hit me, you still have a bit of work to do, especially if you hit on the 5.
Yeah, just look at the detail on the cube.
Yeah. Yeah, it says the double would have been a 0.3 blunder. Now at different scores, you know, depending on how gammon's played out, that could make a big difference. If you were way behind in the match, then, and you didn't care about getting gammon, or the gammon was gonna, if you got gammoned, it was a lost cause anyway, then you may, because if you hit me on the ace and I dance, you probably did lose your market. So there are market losers, but it has to be at a score where you don't care about getting gammon. I guess that is the other big thing here. The score is even, and sure, you are a favorite to win, but if we look at the details, if we look at the details, you can't win a gammon, and I win 57% of the time, and 35 of that 57, 60% of that is a gammon. So when you lose big. On the other hand, if you send the cube at 4, you know, being down 4-0 isn't much better than being down 8-0. All right, and then I think the rest is just dice. Okay. Game 2. 5-1, 5-3, 3-1. Whoops, sorry about that. My mistake. 3-1. It liked coming down. Or what did no? It liked coming up. It liked splitting. Because my back checkers are split, I only have 9 in the attack zone. That's a good signal to come forward before things get hotter.
Here's a question for both of you. They want to know if you always agree with Backgammon Galaxy's assessment.
I trust it a lot more than I trust my own assessment. So
You know,
I do.
think for the most part, I agree with Art. The point is that because Backgammon Galaxy wants to give you an instant analysis, they're using a lower level of extreme gammon. So if you took the file and run it through extreme gammon at a higher level, then my answer would definitely be that I trust it. But it can be off just because of the interest of speed. it does the calculations at a lower level.
Now, also someone's saying that Facebook claims that the dice on Galaxy are rigged, but didn't you do something around that, Art, to check?
Yeah, in fact, if you read the current issue of USBGF's Primetime Magazine, the question is, are Galaxy dice fair? And the first sentence of the article is, yes, absolutely. And if you want to learn a little bit about probability and statistics, read the article. It is as random can be. You do not hear the great players whining about dice. You know, not good energy spent. To follow up on Karen's remark, I agree. I'd rather be going through this match on my extreme gammon than Galaxy, but just in terms of getting a quick feedback, you know, it's going to be right almost all the time, certainly more often than I will. But if I want a second opinion, I'll run it through my own Galaxy, and I can play with positions and make adjustments. All right, 2-1, I make this hit, and I hit. 4-2, I wasn't sure about this play, right? Do I make my 4-point? Do I hit? Do I make the 11-point? And it says second best was to make the 4-point, and hitting was worst. Okay, so it agreed with my plan. Happy to see. 5-4. 5-4, it says, if I look at the green light, it agrees with the hit, and it says, as long as I'm on the bar, now's a good chance to step up. So they wanted you to split. I hit. I roll a double 4 and somehow managed to play it right, and a dance. All right, 6-1. So first of all, it said I should double. Let's see how much it wanted me to double. It says, look, I'm right on the verge of too good to double. So it's a pass, but you know, by sticking to my guns and not doubling in a gammonish position at this score, I didn't make a blunder. So I'm happy with that. I chose not to anchor, and it's agreed with the 6-5. It said I should bring the other checker down to let my sixes play better. Someone may have asked me that question. Did I consider 17-11 6-5? That was the right question, and it was indeed a mistake not to give myself good sixes for the next turn. So yes, I think maybe I thought with 3 checkers on the bar, I could hang around and wait and try and get 4 checkers on the bar. But that may have been a little greedy, especially if it resulted in me not making the 5-point. 5-2. I made the purer play, and it agreed. I wasn't sure of that one. 6-4. Okay, now you've got your back game. And I stuck with the policy as a leader, don't double a back game. And I don't see any cue bearers coming forward. So I'm glad to see that I was correct not to double this back game. 4-2. I think we wanted you to slot the 4-point. Just try to start making the point that you want. Double 3, once again, doubles are easy to misplay. And it agrees with making the 2-point. And remember, I was asking, is it better to make the blocking point or leave a shot? And I left no blots like this, but it preferred that I unblock myself and give her a shot while her board isn't so strong, but only a small error.
Art,
Yes.
KG here. Can you check and show us any of these situations where you didn't double? Is it too good, not good enough, or both?
That's a good question. That is a very good question, because just because XG says I shouldn't double doesn't mean that the opponent has an easy cube decision. So here it's in this position, 6-4, it says, as far as the cube goes, they said here it would be a 0.06 error to double and a trivial take. It says 0.73 by taking. Karen has a reasonably well-timed back game. Let's see how, we'll check on it after each play. So 13-7. All right, my double three. Here, it says my position is stronger, but it's still a 0.01 error to double. So you might do it just to see if they make a mistake. And it's still a take, a big take.
And note all this is match point dependent, Art.
Very much so. As I said, I'm only doing it because I'm at a sensitive score, 3 away to 5 away. If it was even more extreme, I wouldn't have any doubts. Like one of my favorite rules I call Stick's Law says if I'm 3 away to 7 away or 8 away or more, if you're in a gammonish position as the leader, don't double. All right, because you're either too good or it's no double. In practice, you might do it based on your opponent, but as far as the computer is concerned, don't double. All right, let's see. So I played the double threes, not perfectly. 6-2, slots the 4, 4-2. Let's see what the cube action is here. In a money game, I would not yet be doubling. And it says you could double. It wouldn't be an error to double. 0.86, it's less than a 0.01 error to double. And still a take. All right, 3-1, 2-1. And let's see, where am I? There I am. So even here, I think my position got a little weaker. It says now it would be a big mistake to double because my position got weaker. Her position got stronger when she moved her checker forward. All right, 3-2. She slotted the ace point 7-4, 3-1. And it said, no, let's make the points in order 7-4, 6-4. All right, so that's making the points in order. Now here, again, we see it would be 0.04 error to double, still a take. Okay, 6-1 and out. If this were a money game, this is the position where I would have doubled, but I think because of the score, it is be a 0.07 error to double, still a take. If it was a take for money, it would be a take at this score, 5-3. All right, 4-1. My position's getting yuckier. I won't even look at the cube this time.
So this was the 6-2 where my 6-2, I wondered.
I liked your play. I think making my fours good with 4-1, 4-2, double 4 is, I think as long as you weren't burying that checker, I liked your play, but let's see if you
The question was whether to go 21-19 would have been a 0.08 error.
Oh, yeah. Well, 21-13, they say would have been a 0.08 error. And I guess 21-19 probably gives me too many good pick and pass numbers. All right.
Yeah.
Numbers like 4-2, which would have left a shot, now become a lot safer. 6-1. Okay, so I leave the minimum number of shots, and you just couldn't hit anything here. 21-18, and it likes your play. I thought maybe making the deuce point with the 2-1 would have been a 0.06 error if I'd done that. So it says no, you're playing a back game. You want the open point to be empty. So do it. I rolled well, and I kept rolling well, and you kept missing. Oh, what about jumping out, right? Remember what I said about wait until 8? I have 6. Should she leave? Well, if all her checkers were inside, I'd say leave. But since she could play 13-10 without wasting any pips, and she's not going to get backgammon to this turn. With 4 checkers, I might have run away, but with 6 checkers, I'm staying. But normally that is the wait until 8 situation. If it meant burying checkers in your inner board or using all those pips to run out, 9 is fine. You can stay back if I have 9, but wait until 8. Okay, and then, all right, now it's Crawford, 4-0. Gammons don't matter.
We're going to have to move this along just a little bit to stick to our time frame.
Okay, then it wasn't pretty anyway, and I'm not seeing any errors. So 4-1, it said, yeah, clear from the rear, except on the next play. It would have been fine to take 2 off, it says. I left the shot, she missed.
Interesting remark just made. Order of good points depends on opponent's bear-in structure.
So they're asking about, for the best back game, which points do you want?
Depending on generally, I prefer the back games with the forward anchors, like the 4-5 back game, the 2-5 back game, 3-4, unless you have a whole lot of timing. I mean, like you're down by something like, 90 pips, 80, at least 80 pips. Then I might consider one of those classic back game points, like the 1-3, the 1-2, the 2-3, the 1-2. You need almost 100 pips behind to have a well-timed ace deuce game. When you have that timing, they're wonderful, they're fun, they're exciting. But generally, I aim towards the more forward back games. They also have the advantage that they're more likely to turn into non-back games. And back game is sort of a strategy of last resort. So if you have like a 2-5 game or a 4-5 game, you may well have a holding game. So which is
I want to know if you can look at the 6-6 and whether hitting another checker might have been better.
The 6-6, which here, this error here. So I went 13-7, and was this the double 6 you're talking about?
It looks like Extreme Gammon prefers 21-9 rather than making the 2 point.
And I think that's because at this score, I don't care about winning gammons. So just sort of more, it's just a little safer, right? Because normally you'd say, hey, this is a 0.0, my play is a 0.04 error, and that's when gammons don't matter. But if gammons matter, my play wins, the right play wins gammons 24% of the time. My play would win gammons 36% of the time. That's like a 12% increase in gammons, which is like an extra 6% chance in wins. So if gammons mattered, my play was right. Gammons not mattering, make prime.
Marty Storr, did you want to go off mute and make a comment about that, the 6-6?
Yeah, so I just wanted to say that, what Art is saying about gammons is right. If you just want a simple win, as Art does here, where gammons don't count double for him, then a priming game is a really good game plan. And if you make the bar point and you keep the 8 point as well, you've got four points in a row. Karen's on the bar, and you've got builders to extend your prime, either from the back or from the front, depending on the rolls.
And after the double 6, I'll be way ahead in the race. So even if they make an advanced anchor, I'm still okay with my big race lead and against a holding game.
Yeah, it's a flexible game plan that you've got. You're not solely relying on a prime or an attack or a race.
I agree. Christine, this may be a good place to end. I mean, this was where.
Well, I'm going to turn it over to Karen, who's going to wrap it all up. But Art, I learned a ton, and I personally can't thank you enough for doing this.
Oh,
and we look forward to see you in January. Art's going to be doing it every couple of months, so he'll be back the second Tuesday of January.
great.
Yes, thanks so much for Art. Great lesson. lot of good points to mull over. And we'll look forward to David Presser and Ava Ziskova on December 14th. So join us for that.
Thanks for coming, everyone.